on today's episode of Anime Afterthought Plunderer, episode 18, Birth of Alcia. Wow, that was pretty fucking intense. Like, I call it, I knew it. Like, I didn't know all of it, but I knew a majority of it, and like, the writing was on the wall. It was just a matter of time before we actually got to see it. Now, remember last we left off, Licht had finally undergone the surgery, the transfusion of Schumerman cells into his body, which unfortunately he was overexposed to, and thus the ace of flashing strikes is born. And right out of the gate, his convictions are already tested, being confronted by the enemy squadron, getting ready not only to self-sacrifice themselves, but take everyone else with them with a possible nuclear attack, goats Licht into killing them. Obviously, this has a huge impact on Licht, but of course, we're setting down a path that's very familiar to us, leading to our current timeline. But of course, this is the first time Licht had to kill. His convictions were so strong. We're gonna be an army that does not kill, yet to save my friends, I had to. And believe it or not, this is what he chooses as his count. I kill for my friends so they don't have to. So for everybody I kill, that's my point. That's my conviction. That's my count. Picking up today's episode, we see right after, the Hina tit grab that literally shocked me to my core, we're basically shown what happens next in the form of some flashbacks as well as what's on Nana's tape. The memory card that she gave our group. Well, yeah, there's some pretty big shit on it. I gotta say, a majority of it, especially in the beginning, is just Licht taking on this giant burden of being only one in Class A that actually kills. And it is having a devastating effect. I mean, he's literally bent over in the shower just fucking vomiting. Of course, they take this opportunity to give, the clandestine meeting between him and Nana. What's she doing in what I assume is the boys' shower room? I have no fucking clue, but hey, she's a time-traveling child, so who am I to argue with narrative? But obviously, they become close at this point, and it seems she has fallen in love with her big bro. But even the love of this absolutely adorable cutie pie is not enough to stave off the curse of Schumerman. No, the more he goes out, the more he kills, the bigger count he's getting, and it seems the more that these Schumerman cells are taking over, and he's literally going berserk. It seems he's having a harder and harder time. I guess the best way to put it is being licked. He's becoming less human. We see that over time, and even the perversion is literally taken out of him. When a slew of, dare I say it, beauties approach him with skirts held high and panties a-flashing, all he can muster is tell the head chick, do not kill, that's an order. Although from the outside looking in, it looks like he's slowly slipping into insanity, but he's keeping, that one strong hold on reality. The one thing he needs to do, his conviction, his burden, I will be the killer so you don't have to. That's the only thing that's probably keeping him sane at this point, like Jesus. But one man does not an army make. No, it looks Captain Allen, who, yes, is alive and just got a little scarred up. I don't know why they gave him a posthumous salute. That pretty much said you were dead to me. As well as Frenda and Schumerman are having a little powwow, and Class A barges in saying, you know what, Licht can't be the only one that kills. Give us the surgery. We'll be aces. We'll go out there. We'll help him fight. He needs it. He needs it. He needs it. So Schumerman's like, fuck it. The one who is strictly against testing on these children and seeing what has done to Licht, he's like, fuck it. I mean, we were gonna do it to them anyways, so yeah, let's go ahead and create some new fucking aces. And we literally have new fucking aces. Yes, presenting the new aces. We have Tokikaze as the ace of sudden strikes, Doen as the ace of heavy strikes, Sonohara as the ace of pursuit, as well as Captain Allen, once again, not dead, as the ace of explosive strikes. But even though Licht has backup in the form of his, fellow students as well as his captain, he's not letting Class A dirty their hands. He's telling Tokikaze and Sonohara to stay out of it, and even pulls a blade on Tokikaze, who only wants to help. We can definitely see him spiraling out of control. I do want to point out there that he doesn't give a shit about he's in the background, he's fucking bitches up too. And obviously, Captain Allen is somewhere doing God knows what. But at this point, they can't fight in a war of attrition because they're running out of supplies. Everyone's running out of supplies. This is a war to decrease the population. This is a war to kill. So it needs to be ended fast. Obviously, the upper echelon are having a meeting. It's time to take the necessary action. Having all 7 of the original ballots, obviously they have the unanimous power to make anything happen. Not just a majority power, but a unanimous power that can even, bend the laws of nature itself, as we see with the birth of Alcia. Yes, at this point, having all the original ballots collected, we see giant pieces of landmass start to float and converge, and this is the floating land that we see in the very beginning of the series. It's giant chunks ripped out of the earth that form the Alcia of today. But they're not done there. No, they cast another vote that completely strips what is now referred to as the Abyss of all of their resources, or at least, a majority of them, leaving everyone else left over with fucking nothing. Like, Jesus Christ. Taking this opportunity, they're throwing a couple more votes in there. The first one being the creation of the counts, the whole, civilian repression I was talking about fucking day one. I knew it was a means to keep the civilians under wrap, or should I say the new civilians. It looks like a majority of people currently on Alcia is, they're born from embryos, picking from every race, creed, nationality, whatever. So they start fresh, they start anew, not knowing, the history, the cruel history. So cruel, in fact, that Class A is not having this shit, and it looks like they actually rebel. Tokakaze breaks into wherever the fuck this was going down and steals one of the original ballots, definitely calling out this trio on all this complete bullshit. Like, we're not standing for this shit. What you're doing is fucking wrong. You're not fixing the problem. You're just covering it up. You haven't changed fucking anything. Now, at this point, Captain Allen wants to go after him, but Frenda, who I'm thinking is the true big baddie, or at least this bitch is up to something. She basically says, you know what, we have our own, guard dog or monster to go after. Let's have Licht take care of them. So yeah, they send a berserker Licht who doesn't know what the fuck's going on, who's been killing people and it's just fucking an OP monster at this point, after his former classmates, his friends, and literally has to confront Tokakaze. And of course, you can't stand up to the ace of flashing strikes. Fuck that shit. No, in a single flash, Tokakaze looks like it's down for the count. And as Frenda is, basically getting all up on Licht's ass and she's mind fucking him somehow, he just can't, do anything but stare at what he fucking did. It looks like he finally has a mental break and a mental snap. And this is where he pass out. And obviously, Nana's been narrating throughout the entirety of the episode, giving us little bits and pieces here and there, and flashing forward, flashing back. And although I might get some numbers mixed up, chronologically, I think this is where Licht passes out. Suffice it to say, 25 years have passed. Licht still donning his mask, but it seems he has some semblance of reality to him, some semblance of self, decides to try to discover what happened, to the rest of Class A, and it's fucking cringy. It's very sad. They took this opportunity to stay back. They stayed on, Earth, on what is now known as the Abyss, like I said, they're taking care of war orphans. And as the supplies just kept dwindling, remember, Alcia took fucking everything, or at least 99.9% of everything. When it came down to it and everyone was starving, they decided to fucking off themselves. They fucking killed themselves so everyone can have more food. Kind of like Tokakaze's grandmother. Like, she wasn't eating so that, Tokakaze as well as Licht could. And this just breaks him once again. Now, eventually, Nana and Licht are able to escape the military, the grasp of, the new Alcian army. They go on the run, and we see chronologically 50 years, nothing has changed. He's fucking still out of it. 100 years, 200 years, I think he's starting to talk. 300 years, she finally figures out what his regrets are, and, although her goal was to eventually marry him, it looks like it's something that she can't help him with. Hopefully whoever's watching this card is able to. And just like that, boom, we cut back to the future. Team Jail, Hina, Pele, and Lin have returned, greeted by Nana, who seems she was already well aware that they didn't, succeed in changing anything, but I'm beginning to suspect they never were. They were never going to. I mean, this is a temporal loop. But she was like, yeah, I'm glad I actually showed you what the fuck happened, and now you know the truth. But ending out the episode, it looks like Hina's ready to get down to business. She's like, hey, you ready to pick up, where we left off 300 years ago, and just strips down the bare breasts. Oh, shit. And obviously, next episode, we get a lot more comedic value, especially in the preview. Yeah, today's was fucking devastating. Especially when Licht you slowly see his descent into madness, taking that giant burden of being the only one out of, his friends that had to kill. It slowly drove him insane. I mean, he pulled a sword onto Akaze, eventually cut his ass, fucking chopped off Sonohara's arm. Like, oh my god. Now we know like how she got the fucking arm. But it looks like we finally have like the major goal of the series. They want to take down Alcia. It was formed on the basis of just lies and deceit and murder upon murder. Like, fuck me. This nation was literally birthed by blood, like the bloodshed of everyone else. Like, wow. Not to mention, we were finally introduced to, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know 6 aces now. Question is, there's one more. So we still have one more ace to deal with. We have Schumerman, who's still, you know, fucking Schumerman. I can't tell what's up and down from this motherfucker. We got fucking Frenda to look out for. Like, this bitch, she's fucking up to something. She's fucking up to something. Like, but I'm just, yeah, that was intense. That was a pretty fucking intense episode. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? So I guess with all that being said and just goosebumps all over my arms, I honestly cannot wait for future episodes.